Cardboard Wars is part of the Rippin' Podcast Network. On this episode of Cardboard Wars, Ben Ripping and Kevin Rips explore the journey of Lionel Messi, from his early days in Rosario, Argentina, to becoming a global football icon. They dive into Messi's staggering achievements, including over 500 goals by age 12 and winning multiple Ballon d'Or awards. They also discuss the impact of Panini's Prism cards on the sports card industry, highlighting the 2014 FIFA World Cup set. Discover how Panini's history and innovation revolutionized card collecting with groundbreaking releases. So sit back and enjoy this episode of Cardboard Wars.
We're heading to a little bit different part of the world today. Argentina. Winter in a city called Rosario. It's a city lit by the light of street lamps and the dreams of a bunch of little kids running through the night with just a single ball. And among them, there's one specific boy. He's small, he's silent, he's pretty much anonymous, and no one knows him yet. He is about to change soccer forever. His name, Lionel Andres Messi. Messi from this point forward.
Buddy, first of all, I just want to give you props on just delivering his name properly. Like, that's amazing. And here's the thing about Messi, because you did say we're going to call him that from this point forward. If you walked past him in, let's say like 1987, you would have never guessed it. He was tiny for his age. He was shy, like he barely spoke, like his shirt would hang off of his shoulders. Man, but once he touched that football, as they say, everything changes.
It's the football. It's the football. Well, it started with his grandmother, Celia. She drags little Messi to his first club when he was only 4. The coach hesitates because this kid looks way too small. He's too fragile. But grandma, she insists, put him in, she says. Give him the ball, she says.
And the moment the ball rolls, something happens. Messi moves like a spark of electricity. The coach stands still. Grandma, she's smiling like she already knew, because let's face it, she's a grandma and she did know. Messi later said, "Everything I do is for her." She becomes the engine behind the boy who would change the football world.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cardboard Wars. I am your co-host. I go by Ben Rippin online, and I'm joined with my partner in crime, Kevin Rips. Today, if you want to track either one of us down on Instagram, please, by all means. We talk about the history of sports, the players, the cards they're on, and the manufacturers that made them. We are bringing history to the hobby, and we're excited because today we're talking about, as Kevin said, the football. And this particular player, by 8 years old, he joins a more advanced team. This is where the story turns from kind of strange to unbelievable. Over 6 years, as a young boy, he scores more than 500 goals. Kevin, 500 by 12 years old. I've watched a lot of soccer games in my life. I don't know if I've ever seen 500 points in all the soccer games I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, it's amazing. Teammates call this team, the group La Máquina del Setenta, which I've totally butchered, I'm certain of, loosely translated to the machine of 70, because they destroy everyone in their way, Ben. But behind the magic, there is a secret. Messi is small. And actually he was too small. He was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency at age 11. Treatment was expensive, and frankly, his family just couldn't afford it.
This becomes a little bit of a crossroads for Messi. The dream of him becoming a professional soccer player, football player, is slipping. He later admitted that he had one dream: to play football, and nothing else mattered. Luckily, a scout in Barcelona, all the way on the other side of the world from Argentina, hears whispers of this boy, left foot like velvet, dribbles like water. The coach, Carles Rey Sach, I think, is a decision maker for FC Barcelona. He flies to Argentina to see this kid for himself.
And when he does, the field is dusty. The air is cold and crisp. Messi looks like a child among teenagers. Reacts watches, and within 15 minutes, he knows this is the one. He needs a contract, but had nothing with him. So he grabbed a napkin. And on that napkin, he writes the agreement that will ultimately bring Messi to Barcelona. That napkin will one day sit in a museum.
It's like you're at a bar and you meet a girl and you're like, I got nothing to write on my face or my underwear or my hand. Just give me the number.
I'm curious how many napkins you've scribbled on, Ben, are going to end up in a museum one day, buddy.
Zero. Hey, it's 2000 now. Messi arrives in Spain. He becomes part of a legendary academy in Barcelona. He gets treatment and starts to grow. And suddenly everything in his world is starting to accelerate.
Ronaldinho, the king of camp at that time, meets Messi and says, "This kid will be the best in the world. I will pass him the crown." Xavier Hernandez said, "This kid is not from this planet." Like, inside the academy, the coaches just can't believe what they're seeing. Messi is only 15 and he's dribbling through grown men defenders like they're ghosts.
November 16th, 2003, 16-year-old Messi steps onto the field in a friendly game against Porto. He looks like a kid who wandered into a match he was not supposed to be in. But then the ball comes beneath his feet.
And suddenly that slouch disappears. He's balanced. He's fearless. And once again, he's slicing through defenders like he's carving a path that only he can see.
1 year later, he scores his first official goal for Barcelona.
Ronaldinho to Messi. Will he get that first goal for Barcelona? Remember the name, Lionel Messi, at the age of 17, scores his first goal for Barcelona.
Ronaldinho lifts him into the air, kind of an anointment, a moment the world did not yet understand.
I wonder if that was like when Roy Kent passed the torch to Jamie in Ted Lasso. Maybe it was more serious. I don't know.
That's as close to the time that you tried to crack my back in a hotel room, if you remember that.
Oh, I remember that. My only regret about that is there was a witness. Anyways, then comes the years. Let's fast forward a little bit. That Messi rewrites soccer. Like 2009, he wins the first Ballon d'Or at 21. In 2010, 47 goals scored. In 2011, 53 goals scored. 2012, 91 goals in a single calendar year. That you've never scored that much in a year, Ben. I'm certain of it. That's the most goals ever recorded.
Now we're starting to get personal here. See, nobody had ever seen anything like this. Not Pele, right? Nobody. Not any legend in a century of the history of football. Messi becomes a phenomenon, but without ego. A superstar without all the noise.
Yeah, Zlatan, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's last name, said about Messi, he's from PlayStation. I mean, which I think has got to be the highest compliment you could pay an athlete. Pep Guardiola says, you will run out of adjectives and syllables too, Pep. Jorge Valdano says, quite simply, Messi is the Mozart of football. Mordano says he plays like a god. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think the simplest of all, says he makes me better.
When your rivals call you the greatest, the debate is kind of over. He never roars. He's not out flexing. He never performs for the cameras. He dribbles as if gravity works differently for him. And Kevin, I love a player that does a slam dunk and then goes right back running down the court, or a football player that scores and just tosses the ball and walks away, as opposed to the people that do breakdancing or screams. It's just something different because you know where their mind is. It's not on that one little win. It's on winning the entire war.
Yeah, you say that, reminds me of Emmitt Smith in football, who, while he didn't give the ball back to the ref, he just simply walked off the field with it without celebrating. I believe his quote was, quote, act like you've been there before. In 2007 against Getafe, the guy dismantled 5 defenders in one single run. Like, the way this guy scores goals was just never seen before. More than once, he's shredding 4 or 5 defenders in the highest level of football that there is on the planet.
2 against 4, but one of them is Messi. Gets around Mireles, tucks it in, lifted by Di Maria! A masterpiece from Messi!
Genius! That's the only word you can't use. They should name a constellation in the heavens after Lionel Messi. This run is uncontainable. His pass is unstoppable. It's immaculate touch.
Messi once said, I do not think the ball tells me what to do. By the way, only a genius talks like that. In 2004, the world did not know him yet, but he was already starting to show up in the sports cards. In fact, the Mega Cracks rookie card, it was printed in Spain. I opened a pack myself. You can see it on the socials. And I actually got a Messi rookie out of a pack. I bought 2 packs on eBay, Kevin. And I opened the first pack and I got a Messi rookie in that pack. I couldn't believe it. I paid $300, got 2 packs. And one of the 2 packs was a Messi rookie. Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
These rookie cards can sell for millions of dollars in the right grade. But today, we're not going to talk about his rookie card. We're going to talk about the second most important card that Messi was ever on. And it was made in 2014. This is the creation of the first soccer cards printed by Prism, a Panini product. And in 2014, Panini Prism made the World Cup soccer box. It's a highly coveted box of cards. I have one on my shelf unopened. There's 200 cards in the base set, lots of inserts, rare parallels, and autographed cards. Each box averages 8 different Prism parallels, including versions like blue to 199, red to 149, crystal to 25, and of course our favorite, gold to 10. It's known for having some of the best autograph checklists in soccer history, including Messi, Kevin, Pele, Ronaldo, and one other person, Kevin, who doesn't even play soccer. Who's that?
And it has Kobe.
Can you believe that? Inside a box of soccer, you can pick up an autographed Kobe card in 2014 Prism World Cup Soccer. Crazy.
That's insane. I mean, I couldn't even, if I'm not mistaken, there was also wasn't Andrew Luck, the football player, also in that set as well?
Yep.
Like in that, I think those inserts were like fans of the game autos.
Yep.
I mean, dude, that's pretty cool. Think about that. It's not like that happened last year or this year where, sports cards have been just growing and on a huge run. Like they thought to do this back then. Like that's a pretty cool development.
Let's kind of jump into the history of Prism. But to understand Prism, you got to understand the manufacturer of the Prism set, which is Panini. You got to go all the way back to 1961 in Modena, Italy. Panini didn't start as a card empire. They started as a tiny family-run newsstand operated by the 4 Panini brothers, Giuseppe, Benito, Roberto, and Franco. What transformed that little shop into a global collectible powerhouse was a simple but revolutionary idea: soccer, stickers, and the albums that went with them.
Those stickers didn't just catch on, they exploded across Italy, then across all of Europe. Kids were trading them in schoolyards. Stop me if you've heard this story before, Ben, because this sounds like so many of like the old baseball card stories we've told. Parents were buying them at grocery stores, and entire communities used them as kind of like a social currency. It became a ritual. Buy packs, peel stickers, fill albums, and then obsess over the ones that you were missing.
So these are kind of like, imagine like a sticker book today for your kids or like a coloring book. You would open up these books and you would see the one that was missing and you peel off your sticker for that player and put it in the correct spot. And your goal was to collect the entire set. Through the late 60s and 70s, Panini doubled down on that success by expanding into many more countries and investing heavily on kind of this emerging printing technology. They weren't content to just be this local sensation. They wanted to become an international phenomenon. And by the 1980s, they sealed one of the most important deals in collecting history: the partnership to produce the official FIFA World Cup sticker albums.
And that was huge because those albums turned into the world's largest recurring collectible event. Every 4 years, millions of fans across continents scrambled to complete their World Cup album. It didn't matter if you were a hardcore football fan or a casual fan who calls it soccer maybe. The Panini World Cup album became a cultural tradition. You simply weren't participating in the World Cup unless you were also ripping those stickers.
Through the 1990s, Panini continued to expand deeper into Europe, into South America, and beyond. They became a household name in countries like Brazil, the UK, Germany, and Spain. And in many places, Panini was as iconic as Topps or Upper Deck were to us American kids. They were already giant internationally, even though the US hobby still saw them as that sticker company from Europe.
Then the early 2000s brought a surprising turning point. Get this, the Harry Potter sticker albums. Those were massive global sellers, and they pushed Panini into big box retailers and new distribution channels that they hadn't seen yet. That success gave the company both the capital and the confidence to break into an entirely new arena, the American trading card market.
2009, Panini acquires our 80s junk wax friends, Donruss and Playoff, a major US card manufacturer with all these kind of deep roots into manufacturing football and baseball cards. This wasn't just a business maneuver. It was Panini planting a flag in the center of this American hobby. It was them saying, we're not outsiders, we're here to compete.
Absolutely. And then they immediately followed it with one of the most pivotal deals in modern sports cards history, the exclusive NBA license. And overnight, Panini transformed from a European sticker brand into the only company producing NBA trading cards. That exclusivity reshaped an entire hobby and set the stage for the product line that would define a generation.
From 1961 to 2012, Panini went from a single newsstand to a global cultural force, then to the dominant name in American sports cards. And all of that history, the sticker craze, the FIFA boom, the global expansions, the Donruss acquisition, the NBA exclusivity was building towards a major breakthrough.
That breakthrough, Ben, was Prism. And it was a product that didn't just fill a gap in the hobby, but fundamentally redefine what a flagship modern card should be.
In 2012, Panini launched something new. It was shiny. It was immediately recognizable, the Prism product. It wasn't merely just another insert or parallel. It was a complete product line with a chromium look that the hobby we were all missing. The design and the finish created buzz among all of us nerd-y collectors.
Yeah, collectors at the time noticed it felt similar to Topps Chrome, which was a benchmark for that style in the earlier years. But Panini didn't just reproduce that look. Again, they launched a new flagship that combined modern printing, bold design, and deep rookie classes to chase. Like, the timing was perfect because fans were still craving Chrome excitement and nowhere fresh to turn until they came along.
What made 2012 so special was they had all the right ingredients. They had a fresh new product that the hobby hadn't seen. They had an exclusive NBA partnership and a rookie class that was also stacked. It wasn't just a new card. It was kind of a start of a whole new boom for collecting.
Yeah, and it's funny what's not funny is this is very strategic and brilliant business-wise. The timing of that release mattered because that 2012-2013 Prism basketball set, it has a release date of November 28th, 2012. Now, Ben, you and I are recording this basically about that exact same time in the year. What does that align with? The holiday season buying window, right? By the time this episode is out, we're going to have recently been past Black Friday, which is when everyone's like, got to buy. So that precise positioning just helped drive early excitement and adoption.
Well, I just want to point out, everybody, I've known Kevin for way longer than 2012, 2013. And on that Christmas, I did not receive a box of Prism NBA. No, I did not. But the boxes, they were hitting the market at that moment. And it was clean. It was modern. It was something different. And they sold extremely well. And they were filling the void of Topps Chrome and expanding in ways that we hadn't really seen in the hobby.
Yeah, it didn't take long because soon after, Prism went from like curiosity to collector's obsession. A rookie with that mirror finish could be pulled. and collectors instantly felt that they had something special, even before understanding its long-term value. That emotional impact is a huge part of what helped Prism just take off so fast.
There were a few core elements that made Prism more than just a pretty card. The aesthetic, the photography, it's instantly recognizable as a Prism card, and the design, it was really speaking for itself. But what I loved, Kevin, and still love today, because I love opening Prism cards, was the parallels.
Yeah. And did they ever introduce parallels? Like Panini introduced an incredible rainbow of parallels over the years, right? You mentioned gold earlier, like everyone loves gold. The green, the blue, orange wave, hyper, pulsar, mojo, and so many others that were in every pack to chase. That variety just gave collectors constant reasons to do what you and I like to do most, Ben, which is open more packs. And it just created this perpetual sense of possibility.
And then we could go collect the rainbow. We could get one gold, traditionally numbered to 10 in Panini products, a green, a blue, an orange, a lotus flower, a cherry blossom, a tiger stripe, a zebra. There's really a massive amount of variations of the parallels depending on the year. I just wish they would agree and keep it the same every single year, because it's frustrating for me to know that white is 49 one year and 199 the next year. It's irritating, but that's a side note. The third thing that made the product so huge was their distribution was massive. They started selling in Walmart, Target or Target, hobby shops, online drops. This kind of distribution made Prism a common entry point for all collectors, and kind of a staple for us veteran collectors. No matter where you shopped, there was some version of Prism available: a hobby box, a blaster, a mega, a pack on the wall.
Fourth, Panini maintained a consistent format and style year after year, which I think people really enjoyed, despite their lack of keeping the colors the same numbers. Some critics would say, though, that it looked too familiar, but the truth is that consistency builds ritual around a product line, and collectors love it when they know what to expect. That familiarity turns releases into more of a tradition and not just like a one-time individual event.
One of my favorite parallels that Prism creates is the silver parallel. You can see it. Sometimes it's hard. You got to like shine it in the light, Kevin, and actually see that it's in there. I love silver parallel. One of my favorite cards to collect. Or if you're lucky, you can get some of the more ultra rare runs like the gold or the black gold or the gold vinyl, which we all know is a 1 of 1.
Yeah. And so when you put all those things together, the look, the chase, the distribution, the consistency, the emotions of those pulls, what you get is a product that's not just a set of cards. It's like culture, it's finance, in a shared hobby language that people across the world can understand.
Now, something happened not too long ago, as Panini just recently lost the license to the NBA. And in 2026, Panini no longer has the license to the NFL, leaving them with soccer, WNBA, and a few other random sports. What's going to happen to Panini and to Prism in the future? Will they make unlicensed product like Topps has been doing for basketball the last couple of years? Or will they actually turn it off and stop making the products completely? I don't know if we know, but we're going to find out here probably in the next couple of months. Something crazy could happen. There's a big question, Kevin, that everybody's whispering about. What happens now that the licensing is gone? Especially with these kind of big players in the market, like Fanatics, which we all know owns Topps and Bowman, for instance. We're kind of getting into speculation here, but there are some possibilities of what could happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, first of all, I think I was texting with you and a couple of our other friends. I was actually really happy to see that they just re-signed WNBA. I think that was last week, if I'm not mistaken. So they're going to continue to have those cards. And as you mentioned, soccer cards. I think it's important to have licensed cards. You know, I guess I don't want to beat a dead horse. I really wish that licenses weren't exclusive these days. I would like to see multiple companies with the license. Either way, though, I think that what's going on is the way Prism really pushed the industry forward. Topps has got to live up to it now, right? So I think hopefully this makes Topps better. And for this period of time that Panini does not have the NBA license and soon no longer the NFL license, I think it's going to force them to like figure out who they really are and get really creative with their products. Now, they've been selling like unlicensed baseball products for quite some time, Ben, and some of those products are pretty cool. Now they don't sell for as much because they're unlicensed, but it does force them to kind of think outside the box and think about how can they make a really great looking card that's got all of these elements that we've talked about.
One possible outcome could be that Fanatics acquires Panini, which there was rumors of them doing in the past, but the deal didn't go through. Or somebody else comes out of nowhere and acquires it. Or they continue to grind on and work their way through and try to capture other licenses. Like Upper Deck currently has the hockey license, for instance. Plenty of opportunity. But let's get back to talking about the actual card. And the box that Kevin and I decided to focus on was Prism, but specifically the 2014 Panini Prism FIFA World Cup box. A case of these product for 12 boxes are selling for $30,000, $40,000, looks like. If you were looking to pick up a 2014 Prism and you hit a Messi gold to 10, highest sale price for that card, Kevin, in a PSA Gem Mint 10, $522,000. In a 9, $204,000. And even all the way back in 2024, we're still seeing the gold card sell for $85,000. There's a combo card to 5 with Messi and Ronaldo sold for $81,000. There's some pretty cool cards in this set that I think that we should kind of pay attention to. A single box sold this month for $5,000.
What I heard you say, Ben, and you didn't use these exact words, was, Kevin, if you buy a case and you're probably going to hit a couple of 10s, this is going to definitely work out for you. You should probably buy a case of these cards. Was that what you were trying to say to me, Ben?
That's if you'd never opened Prism before, because hitting a 10 out of a box of Prism is about as unlikely as me getting a 10, if you know what I mean. If you're thinking about Messi, of course, his rookie card is the 2004 Panini Mega Cracks product that was distributed in Spain. Those cards in September of 2025 sold for $1.5 million for a PSA 10. That is the highest selling Messi card of all time. The second is the same card. The third is the same card. But when you go to the fourth, it's not his rookie. It's 10 years later. It's the 2014 Panini Prism World Cup Gold Prism card. And I just think that's interesting that a non-rookie card would command so much value. Same thing with like Kobe Bryant, who when he was a rookie in 1996, Prism wasn't out then.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me, not to just go to another basketball reference, but our very first episode, Ben, we talked about the Michael Jordan quote unquote rookie card, which we know wasn't actually his rookie year, right? Because Fleer wasn't making basketball. Well, nobody was making basketball cards, really.
Yep. So you take Kobe, who was a rookie in 1996, but the first year that Prism came out for NBA was the 2012, 2013 year. And there's a gold Kobe Bryant that sold a month ago on Fanatics for $168,000. Non-rookie Kobe Bryant gold to 10. There's a 2014, 2015 Prism Black, which in 13 they didn't make a 1-of-1, I don't think. I think all they made was the 10. But in 14 and 15, they made 1-of-1s, sold for $206,000. And then in 2015, there was another Black Prism 1-of-1, sold for $324,000. Prism has made some of the most valuable cards for some of the best players that any of us collect, whether it's Mahomes or Kobe or Curry. One of my friends who goes by Haronbon on the socials pulled a 2014, 2015 Panini Prism Black 1-of-1 Steph Curry. He recently turned out an offer of over $400,000 for that card, and I got to hold it in my hand. And Haron is going to trade me a card, not that one, but a different card one of these days that he actually got, which is a Panini card. So if you're listening, Haron, you know what I'm talking about. Let's kind of wrap up today, Kevin, with some quotes and thoughts about Messi, and I'll kind of start. He said, "I start early and I stay late. Day after day, year after year. It took me 17 years and 114 days to become an overnight success." Isn't that the truth, ladies and gentlemen? That we all want success today, and we want to be like so many different people that have or have done the things that we want, but we forget the amount of time and effort that they put into it. I have some friends that are probably listening to this episode right now, Corbin and Liam, and these young boys are young athletes here locally, and I want to encourage them to shoot a couple extra shots every day and to practice just a little bit more every day and to do a couple extra push-ups every single day, boys, because if you want to be the best of the best, you got to be willing to do the things that Messi did, which was start early and stay late. Kevin, any quotes that stand out to you?
Yeah, one of the things he said that I loved was, "The day you think there's no improvements to be made is a sad day for any player."
He said, it's the effort that counts, not the talent. He said, "I always start from zero. I don't think about what I have done. What matters is what I'm doing now."
He said, "Whether it's a friendly match, whether it's for points, a final, or just any game, I play the same. I'm always trying to do my best, first for my team, but for myself and for the fans, and try to win."
He also understands that his success is not about him. He said, "Kevin, I am successful because I play with the best players in the world." And lastly, he said, being a father is the most important thing that's ever happened to him. Family is the most important thing. What happens on the field stays there. That he's a normal person and he has the same everyday life as anyone. He closes by saying, "I do not care if I'm the best ever. I only want to leave something behind that makes people remember me. The game will end one day. What stays is how you treat people." So good, Kevin.
It is. I got one last quote I got to add because I love this one, and it's not by Messi, but it's about him, by Javier Mascherano. I'm going to totally butcher his last name, Mascherano. He said, "Although he may not be human, it's good that Messi still thinks that he is."
So good. Well, Kevin's a human. I know that. I'm partially human. And we are the host of Cardboard Wars. We do this for fun because we love the hobby. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor, give us a review, tag us on the socials, send us a message, find us on Instagram at Ben Ripping with the G at the end and Kevin Rips. It would mean the world to us. Subscribe to the podcast, and we will see you next time on Cardboard Wars.
Thanks for listening to Cardboard Wars on the Rippin' Podcast Network. Don't forget to leave a rating and review and check out rippin.com to get connected to what we have coming up. Find us on Instagram and let us know what you would like to hear about on a future episode of Cardboard Wars. Until next time, keep rippin'.